The rain began just as I turned the brass key in the lock of my father's study for the first time in 7 years. Inside, dust motes danced through pale November light, and the air held that particular stillness that settles over rooms where time has stopped moving. I had been avoiding this room since we brought Dad home from the hospital for the last time, unable to face the remnants of a life that had once filled every corner of our house with warmth and purpose. But the estate lawyer needed his important documents, and my mother, now in her fragile state, had pressed the key into my palm with trembling fingers, whispering that it was time. The study looked exactly as he had left it, his reading glasses folded beside an unfinished crossword puzzle, a cold cup of coffee bearing the ghost of his lips on the rim, and his leather chair still bearing the impression of his body. The mahogany desk stood like an altar to his memory, its surface cluttered with the debris of an interrupted life. Bills half-sorted, photographs of grandchildren he would never see grow up, and that old cedar jewellery box that had belonged to his father. I had seen that box countless times throughout my childhood, sitting on the corner of his desk like a silent guardian. He would sometimes run his fingers across its worn surface while thinking, or absently lift its lid to retrieve a paperclip or rubber band from the small compartments inside. It was just another piece of furniture in the landscape of his daily routine, unremarkable and unnoticed until now. The afternoon light was fading when I finally approached the desk, my footsteps muffled by the Persian rug he had inherited from his mother. I began sorting through his papers methodically, trying to ignore the way his handwriting on old grocery lists made my chest tighten with grief. It was then that I noticed the cedar box sat differently than usual, slightly askew, as if it had been moved recently and not quite returned to its proper place. Curiosity drew my hand to its curved lid. The hinges protested with a soft whisper as I opened it, expecting to find the usual collection of miscellany, spare buttons, old coins, paper clips bent into abstract sculptures during long phone calls. Instead, my fingers found something unexpected. An envelope, cream-coloured and unmarked, tucked beneath the small velvet compartments like a secret waiting to be discovered. The envelope was heavier than I expected, thick paper that spoke of importance and ceremony. As I lifted it to the dying light, I saw my name written across its face in my father's careful script. Not Sarah, as he usually wrote it, but my dearest daughter Sarah, the words flowing across the paper like a prayer written in ink. My hands shook as I turned the envelope over, finding the seal still intact after what must have been years of waiting. The paper made a soft tearing sound as I opened it, releasing the faint scent of his cologne and the cedar from the box that had guarded it. Inside was a single sheet of his personal stationery, the good paper he saved for important letters, covered front and back with his measured handwriting. The letter was dated 3 years ago, just after his first heart attack, when we had all pretended everything would return to normal and he had pretended to believe us. My dearest daughter. Sarah, I am writing this letter on a Tuesday evening in March, while your mother sleeps peacefully beside me and you are 30 miles away, living your own life with a fullness that brings me more joy than you could ever know. The doctor says I am recovering well, that the surgery was successful, that I have many good years ahead of me. I smile and nod and tell him I feel stronger every day, because that is what he needs to hear, what you and your mother need to hear. But tonight, in the quiet darkness of our bedroom, with only the sound of rain against the windows and your mother's gentle breathing beside me, I find myself thinking about all the things I have never said to you. Important things, essential things, the kinds of words that a father carries in his heart for decades, always meaning to speak them aloud, always finding reasons to wait for a better moment, a clearer day, a time when they won't sound too sentimental or too heavy with the weight of love. I realise now that there may never be such a perfect moment, and that some words are too precious to risk losing in the chaos of everyday life. So I write them here where they will be safe, where they will wait for you if something happens to me before I find the courage to say them face to face. You are 34 years old as I write this, and I still see you as that fierce little girl who used to follow me around the hardware store, asking 1,000 questions about every tool and nail and piece of wood we encountered. You would slip your small hand into mine as we walked down those aisles that smelled of sawdust and possibility, and I would feel like the most important man in the world because you chose me as your guide to understanding how things worked, how they fit together, how they could be fixed when they broke. Do you remember the birdhouse we built together when you were 8? You insisted on painting it purple, not just any purple, but that particular shade you called princess purple, despite my gentle suggestions that birds might prefer more natural colours. We spent an entire Saturday afternoon on that project, your tongue poking out in concentration as you carefully applied each brushstroke, determined to make it perfect. When we hung it in the maple tree by your bedroom window, you were so proud you could hardly sleep that night, checking every few minutes to see if any birds had discovered your creation. No birds ever nested in that purple birdhouse, but I never had the heart to tell you that your choice of colour might have been the reason. Instead, I watched you watch that tree for months, your face pressed against your bedroom window, waiting with the patient optimism that only children possess. Even when it became clear that no birds were coming, you never expressed disappointment. You simply decided that you had built the most beautiful birdhouse in the neighbourhood, and that was enough. That birdhouse taught me something about you that I have carried with me ever since. You have always chosen beauty over practicality, hope over cynicism, and love over fear. These are not small things. These are the qualities that make you who you are, and they are the reason I have never worried about your happiness, even during the times when life tested your resilience. I watched you navigate high school with grace, even when other girls were cruel about your height, or your grades, or your habit of reading during lunch, instead of gossiping. I watched you choose your college major based on what interested you rather than what would make the most money, despite your guidance counselor's warnings about the financial prospects of studying English literature. I watched you fall in love with that boy in your senior year, the one with the motorcycle and the poetry, and though I worried, I trusted you to find your way. When that first love ended badly, as first loves often do, I watched you grieve with an honesty that amazed me. You didn't hide your tears or pretend to be stronger than you were. You let yourself feel the full weight of that loss, and then you picked yourself up and went on with the business of living, wiser but not harder, sadder but not broken. I watched you build a career that matters to you, even though teaching pays less than other professions that would have welcomed someone with your intelligence and dedication. I watched you choose your husband, not because he was the most handsome or successful man who courted you, but because he was kind and steady and looked at you as if you were the answer to questions he hadn't known he was asking. I watched you become a mother with a naturalness that took my breath away, holding your newborn son with the same careful attention you had once given to that purple birdhouse, determined to get everything right. I watched you navigate the sleepless nights and endless worry that come with loving someone so completely. And I remembered what it felt like to hold you for the first time, to feel that overwhelming mixture of joy and terror that comes with being responsible for something so precious. All of this I have watched, and all of this has filled me with a pride so deep and constant that it has become part of my breathing, part of my heartbeat, part of the rhythm of my days. You are my daughter, but more than that, you are one of the finest people I have ever known. You move through the world with a gentleness that heals things, a wisdom that guides others, and a strength that sustains everyone lucky enough to know you. But I realize now that I have never told you these things directly, never sat you down and explained how profoundly your existence has enriched my life. I have said I'm proud of you after your achievements and I love you at the end of our phone calls, but I have never found a way to articulate the depth of what you mean to me, the way your presence in the world has made everything brighter and more meaningful. So let me say it now. You have been my greatest teacher, my most trusted companion, and my most cherished gift. Watching you grow from that curious little girl into the remarkable woman you have become has been the privilege of my lifetime. Every conversation we have shared, every laugh we have exchanged, every moment of quiet understanding that has passed between us has been a treasure I have stored in my heart, like a miser hoarding gold. You have shown me what it means to love someone completely and without reservation. You have taught me about resilience by example, about grace under pressure by living it, about the importance of following your heart even when it leads you down difficult paths. You have made me a better man simply by being my daughter, by giving me someone worth becoming better for. I want you to know that every choice you have made has been the right one, even the ones that seemed wrong at the time, even the ones that led to pain or disappointment. They have all been part of the journey that brought you to where you are now, and where you are now is exactly where you are supposed to be. Your life is unfolding exactly as it should, in its own perfect timing, according to its own perfect logic. I want you to know that you have never been a burden, never been a disappointment, never been anything less than a source of pure joy in my life. The sacrifices your mother and I made to raise you were not sacrifices at all. They were investments in the most important project we ever undertook together. Every sleepless night, every worried conversation, every dollar spent on your education and your dreams was given gladly because we could see even then that you were destined for something beautiful. Most of all, I want you to know that the love I have for you will not end when I do. Love like this, the love between a father and his daughter, becomes part of the fabric of the universe, woven into the air you breathe and the ground you walk on and the light that guides your way. It will be there in the wind that moves through your hair on difficult days, in the warmth of sunlight on your face when you need comfort, in the strength you find within yourself when you think you cannot go on. Whenever you doubt yourself, remember that you carry within you the best parts of everyone who has ever loved you. You carry your mother's tenderness, your grandmother's wisdom, your husband's devotion, your son's wonder. And yes, you carry my faith in you. Faith that has never wavered, not for a single moment in all the years I have known you. I am not writing this because I think I am dying. The doctors assure me I have years left to embarrass you at your son's baseball games and offer unsolicited advice about your garden. I am writing this because I have learned that some words are too important to leave unspoken, and because I want you to have these thoughts written in my own hand, in my own words, so that someday when you need to hear them again, you will be able to. Go gently through your days, my darling girl. Love deeply and forgive easily and laugh often, and never forget that you are exactly who you were meant to be. The world is better for having you in it, and I am the luckiest father who ever lived because I got to watch you shine. All my love, always and forever. Dad. I don't know how long I sat there in his chair, the letter clutched in my trembling hands, tears falling onto the paper and blurring the ink that had waited 3 years to reach me. Outside, the November rain continued its gentle percussion against the windows, and somewhere in the house, I could hear my mother moving quietly through her evening routine, as she had done every night for the 47 years of their marriage. He had been wrong about having years left. The second heart attack had taken him just 8 months after he wrote this letter, quick and merciful in the end, leaving us with barely enough time to say goodbye. But he had been right about everything else, about the love that transcends death and the words that wait patiently for their perfect moment to be heard. I folded the letter carefully and held it against my heart, feeling his presence so strongly in that quiet room that I could almost hear his voice speaking the words aloud, could almost feel his hand on my shoulder as it had been so many times when I needed comfort or guidance. The cedar box sat open on the desk, its secret finally revealed, its purpose finally fulfilled. As darkness settled over the house and the rain sang its ancient lullaby against the glass, I understood that some gifts are too precious to be given in person. They must be discovered, like hidden treasure, at exactly the moment when our hearts are ready to receive them.